All right, welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, 359 cop stories, 7, 8, 9 minutes. Look them up. They're really fun. Content. You got to taser through somebody's testicles. You got good stuff. Look them all up. They're my babies. I love them all. There's gross alerts and a lot of the vice ones, so you'll enjoy those. What we're doing in addition to that, we have over 180 question and answers. And ask me a question, and I'll respond directly, or I'll do it on the internet like we're doing now. Okay, you want to ask me a question? I got my staff here laughing, and I have no idea what for. Email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com, and I'll answer them either directly or I'll do it on video. Okay? All right. So one of the questions came in is, how'd you get hurt, or did you get hurt during your career? Well, I got hurt a lot. Like I always said, usually most of the time when you get hurt, you're working police work in the field. You don't get hurt going to a desk duty. You don't get hurt working in the back. You don't get hurt working internal affairs. No. That's office pokes. Okay, you get hurt by doing police work. Okay, and so here's what happened. Back in the mid '70s, okay, PCP came out, brand hot and bottom. PCP. You had it was in mint leaves, and the leaves were wet. It was rolled up in like the old marijuana baggies. It's rolled up about this thin, mint leaves. It was rolled up in a baggie. And people would smell it, snort it, sniff it, or they get a cigarette and dip it in there, and they smoke a cigarette and they inhale the PCP. It's a horse tranquilizer. Well, yeah, it came out really strong in the mid '70s. Okay, so we didn't know what it was at first. Obviously, law enforcement has to know. We get calls, men disturbing the peace, breaking windows, and you think it's just some crazy drunk guy going on. You get out of your car, and this is what happened to us. I'll tell you what happened. We get a call, working patrol, 6 to 3 in the morning. We're going to a really good partner, both aggressive. Flat stomach, full foot of hair, ready to go. Get a call. They call it 415 man. 415 is a penal code section for disturbing the peace. So we use very few codes in our department, but that's one of them. So you know exactly what's going on here. 415 man breaking windows. Okay, so we pull up. Usually just a drunk, or a homeless guy. They can't get into a store, but usually it's anything real, no big deal. Okay, well, we got out of the car. Guy's naked. Okay, got our batons. In those days, we could choke people and use batons. We didn't have any tasers, didn't have any beanbag shotgun, didn't have any tear gas. It was one-on-one. So we walk up. And luckily for us, another unit heard the call, and they're rolling also. Okay, so when you work a city, urban setting, backup's pretty fast. Unlike you see some of these, I feel sorry for some of these officers like in Maricopa County and Brevard County, Florida, where you call for a backup and you're waiting, where are they? 7 minutes, 8 minutes, that's a long time. Even 5 minutes is a long time, especially when you're fighting. So somebody heard the call, thank goodness, and they're rolling. So we get out, walk up. We're just us now, my partner and I. Walk up. And what's going on? What's going on? This guy turns, and he's got that crazed look on his face, like he's looking out past you. I'm going to describe that. Have you heard anybody talking to you, and you're looking at them, but they're looking like over your shoulder? It's something else. That's what it looked like. Okay. Well, put your hands behind your back. If you. Okay. So now, in those days, they probably don't do it now. Now they're more touchy-feely. In those days, it was, ask somebody to do something, tell someone to do it, and make them do it. Those are the 3 things we did in the old days. I don't know them do it now. They're too busy, worried about public relations when they're kind of violent rather than individual. So we said, put your hands on your back, no. Put your hands on your back, no. And now we're going to put his hands behind his back. Well, we went up to get him, and of course now he's all sweaty. It's a hot summer night. He's naked. We grab him, and now fight is on, man. I mean, he is swinging. We're grabbing his arms. Next thing I know, both of us are being pretty much thrown around like rag dolls on this guy. I'm bouncing against a bus stop bench, bounce back off. I'm on him. I'm trying to choke him out. My partner gets his arm around his neck, trying to choke him right here. And the guy comes up with his hand and pulls my partner's hand away. Now, can you imagine? My partner's got his hand around his neck, and my partner's got this hand holding it in on purpose. He just reaches up and pulls my part, like he went like this. And my partner's screaming, "You got my arm out of his neck!" And so I'm hitting him in the testicles. I mean, there's nothing's happening. Nothing's working. Okay. It pushes me off. He's on top of my partner. About that time, I see the uniforms pull up. He took out my nightstick. I'm whacking his legs, trying to get him. It didn't work. It's like bouncing. It's like hitting this nightstick on a telephone pole. It's bouncing off and nothing's happening. Okay. I hit him again, and then he turns on me, and I don't have time to defend myself necessarily. So he comes at me. I drop the baton. I'm grabbing him by the throat, and now we're going back and forth. He's got my bear hug. I've got his throat. My partner's behind him pulling his eye. I mean, it's about a 3-minute drop down drag out. And tell you what, you ask any wrestler to wrestle for 3 minutes solid, tell him how much tired you're going to get. 3 minutes. It's a long time. And we are rolling on the ground literally with his urine, water, sweat, blood. I mean, we are all, the three of us are, so finally the other two guys show up. And everybody, and the sergeant rolls up and he says, grab a limb, grab a limb. So everybody's grabbing a limb. You know, one guy's got a leg, and the other leg. Get him cuffed. We cinch up his legs. It's called a hobble. It's basically a nylon strap. We cinch his legs up into his handcuff, and we put him in the back of a car head first. We almost throw him in there because we're not exactly happy, my partner and I. And as I do that, I go, oh. And what's the matter? I don't know. And now it hits me. The adrenaline has calmed down, and now as I breathe, I can't breathe. Okay, I bruised my ribs. I knew what it was exactly, and I said, "Oh, something's wrong here. What's the matter?" I said, "I can't breathe." He goes, "What do you mean you can't breathe?" Well, and then I took scuba lessons, and we used to save people in the water. They say they can talk to you, the victim of drowning, he can breathe. So if I can talk to him, I can breathe, but you know, half breaths. So I go, "There's something wrong, Sergeant." I goes, "Okay, you just stay right there." And he asked my partner, "You okay?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm okay." But oh man, he threw him around, pointing at me. He goes, and this guy's still screaming in there. He's crazy. Okay, so we don't know what it was. Well, we found his shirt and pants underneath the bench of the bus stop bench, and there was a bag of, they call it angel dust then, but PCP in there. So then we're slow again. The word has gone out slowly to all these roll calls. This new drug's out, and so the sergeants were all briefed on it, and we're trying to get the troops to know. We didn't know anything about it, and so he said, "Oh, it's got to be this new stuff." Okay, fine. So other unit took him in on purpose because they don't want to have. Usually, we know when you have officers fighting with someone, you don't want to have those officers transport him, because what happens is officers are human beings and they want to get a little revenge. You might take him down an alley and do a little. You shouldn't do that. It's over. Fight's over. Deal with it. Go to court. Whatever. Go to jail. So that's a good thing. I like that because I was pretty much. Of course, now that my adrenaline has gone away, I don't think I'm in the mood to fight anybody. Okay, I was just sitting there like this, you know. So I go, okay, now you. He told my partner, get in that car with me, and take him to the hospital and see what's going on. Okay, fine. So take me there. Now everything hurts. Everybody's guy behind me are going, yeah, everybody here's been hurt. Just get into the car. Stretch my legs and try to grab the door handle. Every time I raise my arms, I mean, it was one of those things that I won't go into it, but you have bruised ribs or broken ribs, both the same. That's what I was told. Pretty bad. So I barely get into the car. Every bump to the station, every time you hit a curve or something going on, every time you hit a driveway, it's like, I get in there and called ahead, so they come out with the gurneys. And again, a nice little hospital. Most nurses, married or dating officers, so they're very, very humble and very caring with officers because it's almost like family, which it is. So I go in there and, are you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. I'm in uniform. Okay, fine. So they lay me on there. Partner already taking my guns away, put it in the trunk of the car. So we go into the thing and they x-ray everything. So doctor comes out. You got bruised ribs. You didn't break any. It's a good news. They're not broken. But he goes, might as well be. You're gonna be hurting. I said, okay, well, I'm hurting now. So yeah. He goes, well, we'll take care of that. He says, give him a shot. Go on. Okay. So I don't know what they gave me, but I was feeling pretty good. Okay. But anyway, no, I'm just saying he softened the hurting on it. Anyway, gave me a shot, and then they wrapped him up, and then my partner took me home, and I had to explain to the wife what happened, and it's not a big deal. It's not. I mean, I always told my wife, I've been married now 46 years, if I can call you when I get hurt, I'm fine. It's when you see officers pull up at that front door, knock on the door, and you see 2 uniformed officers from our department, that's when you worry, because that means I can't call you. I can't talk to you. And she's very smart. She's very tough. She knows that. So I came home, and so I think my partner drove me home, and then somebody came later on with my car, and I just laid there like a sack of potatoes for 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I don't remember what it was. Horrible. Again, I know that Julie was marrying Bill, but Bill was gay, and he marries his brother Sam, and I knew all the soap opera guys. Okay, who's doctor this and doctor that, giving oh my gosh, it's just in those days. It's not like nowadays. You have 200 channels, and then about 10 channels, something like that. Boxing on one of them, and wrestling. I mean, come on. But so that was my rib injury, and subsequent to that, when I came back to work, and not because of that, but what's happening in the meantime is that PCP just hit the market really strong. We're having instances of suspects actually with their hands behind their back, handcuffed, of breaking the handcuffs. Now you can imagine how much torque it takes to break those handcuffs. Stainless steel, reinforced, welded, broke them, and officers having to fight these guys, and so tear gas came out. We could tear gas them, but that didn't work for us because you hit the tear gas and it would spread, and you wind up getting it. We didn't have all this fancy stuff then, so it pretty much was just back to basics, like I told you when I started this video. You either choke them, beat them with a stick, or shoot them. And there wasn't any shootings, I don't think, involved in PCP, but there's a whole lot of beatings going on. A lot of officers got hurt because we have no alternatives. See, nowadays it'd be simple. Nowadays you just tase them, and even then nowadays, tasers would not work on somebody like that. But you have beanbags, which beanbag will physically stump them, not necessarily, I mean, not mentally. You know, you hit them with a beanbag, like in the stomach and the leg, and what happens, the leg fails, which is good. I mean, it's nasty. You know, a little beanbag about that big coming out Mach 3, it hits you on the leg, it leaves a bruise, and if you hit it the right spots, you can, especially stomach and chest and arms, and hit him right in here, you know, even though he's on PCP, he's going to still be on PCP, but he'll be on the ground hurting, okay, because we found that really hurts very well. And I've seen guys where they pump out that beanbag gun like they're having it's like a machine gun. You know, it's a pump action. They're going boom, 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 and one after the other. You know, so they can shoot pretty fast. So I had to supervise guys doing that when I became the supervisor, which I wish I wasn't. And I could shoot the beanbag because that was kind of fun. But I couldn't do it anymore. I'm directing guys to do it. So I'm like, oh man, I want to do that. But anyway, so that was my rib injury, and I don't think I have time for the next one because it'll take a little bit longer. So we'll come back and hope you enjoyed that one. Bye bye.